Today we're going to be making cottage cheese, which I think is so cool, and I have to admit this is my father's doing. He made it first, and I was like, wait a second, that's so cool. And then he sent me the recipe, so thank you, Dad. Let's make it. You're going to want a pot big enough to hold 2 liters of milk. I'm using organic 3% milk, but I've heard that 3.25 or 3.25% milk works better, so I don't know. Probably the fuller fat, the better. Once you have all your milk in the pot, we're going to heat it over medium heat, stirring it here and there until it reaches 190 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just going to be using... Do you want another bite? Snack break. I'm just going to be using this thermometer to check it. If you don't have a thermometer, 190 degrees Fahrenheit should be just before boiling. Okay, we're reading at 190, just over. You can do between 185 and 195, so that's perfect. And this is what it's looking like. It's just kind of smoky. If you don't have a thermometer, this is handy to know. Just a little bit smoky, not boiling, but obviously hot. Then we take it off of the heat, and this is 60 milliliters of vinegar and 1 teaspoon of salt. You're going to add that in and stir for about 30 seconds. It's separating immediately. And then once you're done stirring it for 30 seconds, you're going to let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll see you in a second. Now that it has been resting for 30 minutes, we're going to dump it into a fine mesh strainer with either a cheesecloth or oh god, I'm dumping everything. Either a cheesecloth or a thin towel lining it. And then you're going to let that sit for, I think it was 5 to 10 minutes. The longer it sits, the drier your cottage cheese will be. All right, I let mine sit for 10 minutes. This is what it is looking like. Now we're going to rinse it under cold water while stirring. And this is what we're looking like. You don't have to rinse it with water if you don't want to. It does help reduce the acidity in the cheese, and where my toddler will probably be eating some of this, I wanted to make sure that I did that. Now we're just going to let it sit for about 2 more minutes just to get all the water off of it, and then we will be putting it in a container. This is the cottage cheese in a container. It just fits in this little square dish that I have. This is 80 milliliters of heavy cream. I'm honestly just used to my cottage cheese being a little bit liquidy from the store, and I'm not looking to make it as liquidy as it is when I get it from the store, but I just wanted to have like a little bit of something in there, you know? And then I'm also just going to sprinkle with some salt. Not too much, just enough for some flavor. And now we try a piece. Tastes just like cottage cheese. You can add a bit more cream. You don't have to add cream at all if you don't want to. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And then she's going into the fridge, and tomorrow night I'm making a pasta bake for supper, and I'm going to be using this in it. I'm very excited. This turned out really nice. Thanks for joining me.